And hello! Okay, so this is this week's video. I'm recording this like way late, as you guys can see. That's because I've been like hard at work trying to make sure that this is all perfect. Because I know that with the last assignment, things went kind of haywire when it came to Box2D. So you'll see I have the documentation open in the background. And this tutorial is going to be a little different. It's going to be simple, but it's going to be a little unscripted. In that it is basically we're going to be making a ball roll down is what we're going to do. We're going to make a ball roll down. We're going to create a ramp and have a ball roll down it. And yeah, we're going to hope that works. It should work. I've tested it before. But the point is if we run into any issues, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to refer to the documentation, and this is going to be a sort of, I guess, live look at what it takes to make, like what it takes to program. What kind of things go into it? Like how many times do I open up Google to Google something like not smart? Or seemingly not smart. There's nothing wrong with using Google. You should be using Google. But yeah, and let's get into it. So the first step that we're going to do, we're going to be showing every single possible step, just to make sure that nobody gets lost. We're going to extract the file. And this is a very important step. If you attempt to run from inside of here, this is just so anybody who's ever seen this error will get to see it. You will be greeted. It will not let me bring the entire window over, but you'll be greeted with this. If you try to open it inside an unzipped, like compressed folder, it will not load the solution. It will not load it. It cannot load within a zip file. It cannot and will not. But see, now I'm going to open it up over here. And see, open perfectly. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do, and today is going to be high energy. I'm feeling good today. I'm not actually that tired. I'm going to be tired in the morning when we all meet. Absolutely, I'm going to be tired. But right now, I'm feeling energized. The first thing that I'm going to show you guys today is I made some changes. I removed all of the useless code. I removed the code that does nothing. I removed all of it. I removed the code that is completely useless. I just removed it. It's gone now. The majority of it. I might have missed a few. Like center offset, I believe that that's still useless. I do not see it used here. Oh, no, it's used. It's used. It's used. It's used. It's useful. It's useful. Okay. See? Exactly my point. It's useful. Anyways, yeah, all the code that was useless was removed, and all the code that is useful, I added more useful code. For example, you can now get the rotation angle easily. You just do .get rotation angle degrees. You can now get the you could already get the radius. You can actually update the radius of a circular physics body now, which I don't know how that's going to work, but we're going to hope that it works nicely. Because you're not able to change the radius. You're not able to change the height and width, but you are able to change the radius for some reason. You just can't change the height and width in Box2D once you've made the shape. So that's a thing. You can set his fixed rotation. You can't get the fixed rotation, so I created a variable that stores fixed rotation. So just make sure to be using this function, or else this value won't be updated. You can now set the rotation angle degrees. You can set the position properly. You can set the gravity scale properly. You can get the gravity scale properly. And this is actually useful now, because now you can that's the biggest thing that I'm going to show you guys. You can now properly draw physics bodies. And I am sorry that this wasn't in before. So basically what happened over the summer is this was in, kind of. This was in. But for some reason there was a giant bug and it wouldn't run. So I removed it in time for classes to start and made sure that it, didn't break everything. This is what I fixed. I had to do a whole bunch of graphics programming to make it work. I have now made it work. Pay attention to this. I will be showing you why in a bit. I'll just show you why now. Okay, so here. So currently you have body types. We only have box and circle, and that's okay. But we want what if for example we want triangle? There are no triangles in here. There are no triangles. So currently there is no mask for triangle, for drawing triangles. So if you come bring this over here and we press T. I also set it up with custom colors, because, who doesn't like custom colors? This is not what I wanted to open. But yeah, custom colors. I meant to open Physics Playground is what I meant to open. So we want Physics Playground. It's very important. So like Physics Body, we've updated it. We've done some good stuff with it. Physics System has also been updated. You don't actually touch this though. This is part of the ECS. Don't touch anything in here except for this. Like if you want to add a new type, you do like M body type masks dot pushback triangle mask dot png. Okay, see? All right, so we got that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the internet. We're going to go on the internet. We're going to find triangle. Now, the issue with this is you need the triangle to be absolutely perfect. Do you see this? Do you see how it's perfect? Do you see how it fits perfectly within the square? You want the triangle to be perfect, like pixel perfect. If it is not pixel perfect, I'll upload this. You don't actually need this picture. You can just make your own. It takes like 2 seconds, or you can just Google triangle. Anything works. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. Desktop, tutorials, starter, Sprites Masks. Notice how they're all red. Doesn't matter what color they are, honestly. Really doesn't change anything. Because I'm not actually taking the color from the mask. Notice how it was all custom colors. You can make it whatever you want. So now that we have a new mask type, we also want to add a new body type. Now I'm going to tell you, we're not functionally adding triangles. I'm just showing this so that you guys can see what it's like when you set up, when you set it up. Technically, and next week we'll be going over how I will be including within the thing, or we might go over it as well because this is an important thing to know. So currently we're using tempShape.set as box, but there's also tempShape.set, and then you just give it a bunch of points. You basically create a polygon. So if you give it, like negative width comma height, or height divided by 2, or no, width divided by 2 comma height. So here, I'll draw it. I will draw it because drawing makes it easier for people to understand. So if we have a square like this, this is our sprite, and we want a triangle physics body on it. So there are like many ways you can draw a triangle. There are a lot of ways you can draw a triangle. So how are we going to draw it? Well, my friend. So we can do it a few different ways. We can put one point, here, I'll change the color of the pen too. One corner here, one corner here, one corner here. We can do one corner here, one corner here, one corner here, so that it creates this. I didn't draw it in the red. My bad. And then we also have another option. We can do one corner here, one corner here, one corner here. That picture that I just found online, that is this triangle. So if you want this triangle, it's 1/2 width, comma, height. And then this point is 0, 0. This point is width, comma, 0. And then you just pass that into this, into the set function. So you do temp shape dot set, and then, you know, you give an array of points. And I will show this, and then you give the count of the number of points, which, so if we're making a triangle, it's 3. I will show this in next week's thing, where we are going to create a brand new constructor for physics body that will allow us to create whatever shape we want. Please note, though, if you want a shape to be drawn properly, you're going to need to make it properly. But yeah, that's it. This is like this is how you would go about adding a new triangle, for example. You can just give it different points, because this is 0, comma, height. This is 0, 0, width, comma, 0, and then this is height, comma, width, comma, 0, 0, comma, 0, and that's 3 different triangles right there. But yeah, I thought that was cool. I figured I would show that. But basically, now that I've added, if we go into physics system, you'll notice that I've added this new triangle mask. But you'll notice that this doesn't go off of how many file types there are. This goes off of how many types of bodies there are. So I've already added triangle. Now, just to test it out, I'm going to go in here. You know what? You know what we can do? We're not even going to test it out that way. That's cheating. We're going to test it out this way. So we're going to go to link. And we're going to go temp phys body. You'll notice also I am using the physics playground as the starter. There is no need to grab anything else. Just go into the physics playground and change it. There have been a lot of changes to other files. Those that I've shown, specifically physics system and physics body, those two have been like drastically changed, drastically reworked. So if you have your own version of the framework that you've been iterating on, I recommend either moving those files into it, or a better idea that creates less errors is to, if you've made changes to, for example, scene, to add those create game object button, those create game object functions. What you can do is you can just move your scene file in. I didn't change anything in here, nothing that would break anything. So if you move your scene thing in, it'll work. It should work perfectly if you just replace the file. So here we go. We do .m .set body type triangle. So now it's a triangle. It's going to register as a triangle. Now if we run it, you'll notice that Link was square before. He's not going to be square no more. That ain't how that worked now. Because we've force changed his body type now. Now, what you're going to need is, if you have different, like, random body types, I will tell you, polygons are dangerous. When it comes to the physics. Like, you want simple shapes. Moment of truth, moment of truth. It works. See? It's upside down. I notice it's upside down, so watch this. I will tell you that any mask that you create, you're gonna want to be upside down. See? This is one of those things I was talking about. This is a very frank tutorial. This is a very there's gonna be mistakes. There's gonna be things that you need to go in and fix. And change and, mess with. And that's the whole point of this. we can go to Sprites Masks. I believe you can just... I thought there was a way. Oh, here it is. There we go. See? Simple as pie. Now we run. See? Now it's pointing up. Remember how the box was around it like this before? Now it's pointing up. The reason it's not directly on link is because this is not the middle. This is like the side. But yes, and you'll notice that if I change this, so now I put one in red and one in green, we're gonna end up with like a purplish, I believe. Yeah, purple. See? And I made it so you guys can change however you want. Oh, sorry, it's one in red and one in blue. How did I get purple from red and green? I don't care. Doesn't matter. Point is, and it follows link. You see how it stops at that's where the body is. Keep in mind, I'm currently using a triangle on a square box, so we're gonna have pieces that move like that. Either way, done. Another thing that we're gonna be changing next week is when you create your body, you actually the constructor actually sets density and friction for you. So yeah, we don't want that. You need friction higher. So honestly, right this second, I'm gonna up that friction. I'm just gonna increase that friction so that box move less. Because if that box move less, we all happier. Clearly, higher friction means further movement. My bad. Don't question me. What one? Interesting. Well, it would look like friction isn't doing anything, even though it's required for the fixture. Either way, we're not going to look at that right now. That is for next week. This is just a sneak peek. Alright, so we're going to remove this because we don't want to consider it as a triangle. So, I want to create a sphere. Happy ball. Sprite. These are not the balls that I was looking for, but is this? No, this is not a PNG. 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 PNG? PNG? That's not a PNG. That's a fake PNG. Fake PNGs are fun. Okay, an energy ball. Okay. Maybe. I don't really... I just want transparent. Why are they all fake transparent? Why can't any of them be real transparent? Let's hope that this is actually transparent, because I genuinely could not tell you. Beach ball. Alright. We're going to convert one of our boxes. Wait, we only have 2 boxes. Oh, that's another thing that we're going to do. We are going to go into the chat. We're going to go to the pins. And we're just going to... Right... For gravity, negative 800's a nice value. It's a nice value. Yeah, negative 800. We're going to use negative 800. You know what? Honestly, yeah, we're going to use negative 800. Because this is the one that I believe it was Nathan that suggested. Thank you for that, Nathan. And then we change the speed to 10. We make the sprint pretty fast too. And now that we've got that, we're going to run it and we're going to test it again. Because running and testing your code before you go too far is always very important. Oh, see this? Now friction's... Okay, now I know why friction wasn't doing anything. I remembered why friction isn't doing anything. It's because we had no gravity. But this friction looks really nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright. That's that. So another thing that we want to do... Not in physics body. We don't want to do anything in these anymore. Another thing that we want to do to Link is we want to make Link not what he is right now. If I'm honest with you, he doesn't rotate. Wait, but we want that. But what we also want to do is not use this function anymore. We want to use temp_physBody.set fixed rotation true. See, now we can use that. We don't need this line. Temp physBody set rotation angle. And then we just pass in the degrees. We want it to be 0.f. It's 0.f by default, but, you know, we're going to make sure. See? Ten is very low, so what we're going to want to do is reduce this down to like 5, up this to probably like 20. No, not 200, 20. Jesus. And look how fast this is to iterate upon. Okay, we might want something like, you know, 40. Say less. Yeah, here we go. This is looking nice. Look at this. Look at this friction. Now we're going to do another thing. We're going to do another few things, actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. Fun, right? We're going to reduce the size down to something like 200. 150. 150. We're going to run it again. Dang it, never mind. That's not actually going to change anything. Actually, yeah, it is. Okay. We want this to be about... 80. And we want to rotate it to about... I don't know, I'm thinking like 45 degrees. So we're gonna do temp physBody dot set rotation, and you know, about 45.f. Please note, Box2D does not actually accept degrees. I am doing a conversion in here to convert it to radians. It requires radians. Does not rotate correctly if it is not radians. So we want it to be negative 45. We're going to make it negative 45. And then we also want to set the position of this to negative 10, so that's 10 points higher. And then we're going to want to set the box to negative 8 so that it drops down properly. And then, oh, negative 8, not negative 80. Jeez. Thank God I scrolled back down. Now we're going to bring everything up. I wish that my builds would like come over here, but they don't. I mean, it's quite annoying. We don't want 45. We want something like a 30-degree angle. That's a little too steep. Like that's just not fun. 35, do a 30. See, this is what this tutorial is all about. It's about dealing with this stuff. You notice because they're static, they can go inside each other. So then we're gonna want to move this big box right here, and we're gonna make it thinner. We're gonna make it thinner. There's no reason for it to be that thick, so we're gonna move it over. No, we're not gonna move it over. Actually, we are gonna make it thinner. We're gonna move this one over though. So that one's 30 points long. We're rotated 30 degrees. Probably about 150 right in the middle, 70, 30, so like 100. Put it at 100. And it worked. Moved over. So now we want to make it a little smaller and put it down a little more. See, we're almost there. Almost there. See, so what we want is this corner to be inside of this so that it works perfectly. So we want it to be 28. Basically, we want just the tip to be inside of the platform. See, you'll notice the tip is still out, so I think 30 is going to just about do it. There's a lot of what programming is. It's just rerunning and rerunning the code until you get the perfect numbers. Now, typically, I end up, having a recording that gives me most of the good numbers. We're also this tutorial is also pretty short, so like it doesn't really matter that much. So you notice it's almost exact. So what I want to do is I want to move it over another like 20, just about. Bit more. I want to do it a bit more. So 140. Nope, too far. 135. Big money, big money. Not exact yet. 138. So we want this to be exact so there's no like hitches or anything, because that wouldn't be fun. We don't want hitches. Oh, we're just a bit off. So 137.5 is what it's looking like. Oh, we're still just a bit off. 0.8. Just not fun when we have hitches. Seems like it's a bit too low. And a bit too far to the left, so 7. Or to the right, sorry. Still a bit too low. You'll notice it gets stuck right there. There's a little gap. So that's why we didn't want the gap. We don't want any sort of gap, because then it forces players to have to jump to get on. You'll notice it again. It's right there. So we're gonna turn off adjust scroll offset as well. There we go. It goes up just fine too. And we want our player's scale to probably be a little bit higher for gravity. Oh, you'll see it gets stuck there as well. So what you want, and this is going to take a bit of, like, you know, finagling. You're going to have to keep adjusting until you get it right. And now that you have drawing physics bodies, it's going to be a lot easier to do. So you'll see right there, there's a little bit of a gap. 29, you know, 0.4. And then it'll be 0.3, and then if it goes over, so basically depending on which side you get stopped on, you just increase that one. 29.3. And now if I get stopped on the left, it means it's between 29.3 and 29.4. And programming a game, this seems like really tedious and like something you shouldn't have to do. But like, this is absolutely something you should have to do. See? Now we've got it perfect. Sometimes you get stuck. I don't know why. But still, good enough. Hell, we could even, or heck, apologies. We could even comment this out and have Link actually rotate with it. Though it is possible he could, like, roll off the edge. I'm not actually sure. See? Yeah, that's what I expected to happen. There we go. This is what I wanted. I have no idea why it's stopping him there. It's not even over. Interesting. Doesn't stop him when... That's true. Interesting. And that's things to look out for with physics. Like, you gotta watch out for these kinds of things. Like, it doesn't stop him when he's not rotating. Also, though, low-key, this character would be better as... So we're gonna do temp phys body, and I'm only keeping the other one up there. Physics body, temp body, and then we can give a radius. So, and you'll notice that this one, its width, height, center offset is dynamic. So we're gonna do the exact same thing here, except with a with a, what's it called? A circle, you don't use something like, you don't use the, you don't use both. Because width and height should be the same if it's a circle. Vec2, 0.f, 0.f, false. Is dynamics still there? Completely forgot that that was a thing. But yeah, now we can just comment that out. Run this. And link should be a circle now. Link is a very big circle. Link is a very big circle. Point is that with a circle, you don't run into those issues. If you see. You don't run into like edge issues because the circle will just go over it. So I noticed I should have used get height because the height is smaller and it'll encompass less of the sprite. But it won't cover. See, it's smaller. Still huge. Oh, I'm silly me. Radius is get height minus shrink y divided by 2.f. Radius is meant to be half the height. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. There you go. See? Now you've got a. Now you'll see that, you know, parts of this sprite overlap with that, but you'll notice that like this sprite is much more compact and it goes off edges a lot easier. Now going uphill is still going to be a challenge, but you'll see that it goes over these with ease, which is very nice, very nice. But yeah, that's how you make a circle body. I just realized this is the first time I've ever made a circle body. That's what this entire like lesson's about. So what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna copy this link entity. We're gonna copy it. And then we're gonna call it ramp. And we're gonna bring this over here. And we're gonna call this ball. And then we're gonna. Wait, no, we want it to be silly. We want it to be that new picture that we just got, so of course this file isn't an actual. Of course it isn't. Alright, so we're going to edit with paint.net. Edit. Dang it, this opened in paint. Open with paint.net. Now we're going to select the outside. We're going to just press delete. We're going to press save. We're going to save over it. And now it's a PNG. So beach ball. Beach ball. I wish I had thought of something clever than beach ball, because, you know, everything else has been link themed and stuff like that. But for now, this works. Beach ball should be equal size in height as it is in, you know, everything else. So 20 by 20. And I'm going to put this down at -8. And I'm going to put it over to the left at 45. No. Yeah, 45. 45 should be good. And then we want one last thing, though. We want another one of these. We want another platform, but at the bottom. We want one that's rotated 90 degrees. And see, this would all be easier if you had those easy functions. And then we do 90. God, I wish I had those functions. But I also don't want... the point of that is for you guys to write them, and if I give them in the starter code, then it defeats the point. Because the more you write functions like that, the more you understand the code. If you're able to write a function using parameters like that, it means you understand the code. So if you've written one of those, give yourself a pat on the back. You did a good job. I'm aiming for an hour this time. Don't quote me. I'm at 40 minutes. This is almost done. So we want this to be a wall. We want it to be, I want it to be a little thicker bit of a wall. So we want it to be, like 50 high. We don't want it to be that big. Doesn't need to be that big. We need to wait to place this. But we should be placing it past wherever our other guy is. Past the ramp. So past... This one specifically is wall. This is just to make sure the ball doesn't roll off wall. And... why did I blank? It's this. So then I want to add 15 to that, so it should be about 150. No, wait, I also want to add another 150. So about 250. Just in case. Set platform. So typically what you want to do is make sure that your level's in order. Because it'll just be easier to find things if you do it that way. Or you can start giving things names, and if you make those functions, just comment them. Like what I showed from Isaac and Nazifa last like class session. As you also notice, I'm making all the environment stuff green. Because I want it to be... I'm also going to remove this box. I'm going to comment that out and just minimize it. I'm going to leave that commented in, though, so I can do this. There you go. So we've created a platform, top, platform. So now we need to gotta move this over. 200. And I'm gonna move this over to 300. 300 almost exactly. Oh, we're playing as the ball. Ha, that's funny. That was a complete accident. We do not want fixed rotation. We do not care that the rotation angle is set to 0. We... do not want it to be main player. This is a side effect of copying code. We don't want it to be main player. We changed the wrong one. 45 and -8. There you go. There we go. Just realized I didn't make this perfect. Wait, no, it is perfect. The width is perfect. This should perfectly encapsulate the ball if it's a perfect circle. Hopefully. It does not. Okay, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna crop the photo. Keep in mind the sprite. Yeah, I was right. Okay. The sprite spacing matters. So we're gonna wanna select from this. Crop. Crop. Save. Save. Close. There we go. I just realized I did that wrong. It's 45, -8. We want it on layer 3. Hello World was drawing on top of it, so that was funny. Alright, there we go. T? Do you see how easy this is to debug now? Ignore the fact that when it overlaps, like the square parts of it, it renders on top. That's because there's Z fighting, and that's okay. It happens. Doesn't really matter. I never put it down. So this should be -40. Let's just keep pushing it down until it's down in the right spot. $250. And we just keep going like this. And the wall is too low. -30. 325. Point F. And now we can move this over to 240. You'll notice that it doesn't roll as long as I'm pushing it, but if I just nudge it, it'll roll. Now what I want to do, we have that now. Now that's all fine and good. So what you could do is put a bunch of like pins down there and like just have like small circles that get like that are stacked up, that get like demolished. And you could put a tower of like blocks and have it get messed up and open the path to another area. You could have it so the ball is the only thing that can roll under something. Like you could have a static wall blocker that won't let the player by as long as this thing is there, blah, 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 and so on. Basically, you can make it so like it knocks something off and knocks it out of the world. So if it gets moved, you could set up like a thing that's like a quote-unquote button that you roll the ball past and make it like, you noticed how it went, you know, it sped up when it went down the corner. Sped up a lot. So you could put like a thing here and have a check if it moved. Just an update, like store the position of it and have it move. The possibilities are endless, and I'm hoping to see some interesting puzzles from you guys, but that's the assignment. I am at 50 minutes. We are going to be wrapping this up soon, but first things first, I want to test something. I want to test something that was new. I'm trying to remember what it was. Gravity scale. You'll notice that the player was dropping weirdly. He wasn't dropping fast enough. So we're going to do temp phys body dot set gravity scale 3.f. That's 3 times the original gravity scale. The player now drops a little faster. He also moves a little slower. You'll notice that he moves faster going down this way. The gravity scale is now too high for the player to go up it. He slides down it. That's a problem. We do not want that. The player now stays on it, though. We want that. So the only way I'm able to go up now is if I press W and A. If I hold W, but you'll notice that I'm not actually sliding off of it. So let's try 2 times. Nope, I still can't. 1.5. All I want is so that he can't move fast enough to just go off the edge. It is still possible to go off the edge. Not by much, but it's possible. And you move really slowly going up. So another option is you can make it so a game mechanic is in order to go up cliffs, you must hold shift. In order to go up like ramps, you must hold shift to like run up them. See? You can set up like a thing. Next week, we're going to be going over contact listeners. Now, a lot of you wrote those to have a finish, and a lot of you wrote custom ones to have a finish end state. And that was on purpose, because what you guys wrote to finish your end state, a lot of you guys wrote, a lot of you all wrote box collisions, which is very impressive, and you guys did them on your own, which is very nice. Or you found the code that I left in there that was box collisions. It is no longer in there, I should be clarify. But with Box2D, we have these things called, I believe we can just search them. What is it? So bodies. Fixtures. So contacts. So you can access contacts. You can make it so boxes can't contact with each other. So you can make it so certain things like enemies won't contact with enemies. You can write contact listeners. Contact listeners you have to implement yourself. I've implemented one before, not in this. So, you know, there's the big begin contact. So there are things called sensors. Are they really not going to show up? Really? Is it not going to? Okay. Well, sensors are a thing. You'll see them. They're mentioned right here. So sensors are a type of body, basically, or a setting for a body. Here it is. Fixtures. Sensors. So a sensor is, it allows you, it's a trigger. It allows you to know when two things overlap, but you don't want them to collide. So you create a sensor like a box around. You want to know if the player is on top of a ramp. And you create a sensor right here. And so what you do then is you check, is this a sensor? Is the player within a like you use the contact listener. And the contact listener will tell you, hey, the player's within this area right now. Player's within this sensor. If the player is within this sensor, then you can make them speed up so they go up this hill faster. You can make them faster. And then at the top, it'll stop them. And yeah, that's basically it. I will be showing those next week. But yeah, so today we've written a very simple rolling the ball simulator. And for your task, I just want you to add extra balls and start like thinking about your assignment. Add more balls. Add like you can, if you want, you can add rolling like bowling pins down here. You can turn this into a bowling thing. Ignore the fact that I'm flying. But you can turn this into a bowling thing if you want. The world is your oyster. You guys can do whatever it is that you want to do. You'll notice also, by the way, pay attention to where the physics body is. The body is actually ahead of the sprite as it moves. I thought that was interesting. This is important. Is it going to fall fast? I think I should fall faster. Doesn't matter. Anyways, that I've kept my promise to keep it under 1 hour. But your task today is to just go and add more stuff to this scene. Make a ball pit. Just screw around with it. Have a bunch of balls fall from the sky when you, like, have balls fall from the sky when you press a certain key. Like, if you do this, keep in mind this is the end of the tutorial. You don't have to watch anymore if you don't want to. But doing something like this. Oh yeah, I also wrote this. It's the T key that I'm pressing. I should have mentioned that in the beginning of the video. I'm dumb. I'll mention that in the discussion board post for sure. Input get key down key A. No, not A. Key, I don't know. Y. Y. Did I remove the ball? Did I just copy it? I'm not actually sure. believe I just copied it. I'm half asleep. I need to go to bed. I'm going to upload this and then I'm going to go straight to sleep. So now, if I go up here, food, random, and go down here. And this is where it would be good to have a spawner function. So, rand percent $30 100 plus 45 float random x val equals .def. We're gonna take this. Watch this. There's not many other ways to write this. Actually, you know, we're gonna write it my way. So if we do float rand equals float rand and we put brackets around it, divided by float rand max divided by and then our high value is our high value is, you know, we want it to be like 150 and our low value is 45. So you want it between a range of 45 and 150. That's a random x value. We literally just random x val. And we make it spawn like at 10. And now whenever we press Y, it's going to create a new entity. Watch. Interesting that that broke that. Did not know that that would happen. Interesting. Okay. Either way, you know, this does that thing. Wait, I need to raise this higher. Let's make this like 75 to a 200. And then we press Y. I don't know why 3 of them is like the limit, but yeah. See? Keep spawning them. My player's just off screen. It's not gone. It's just not following me anymore. Doesn't like that. Interesting. That's a bug that I'm gonna have to look at. Weird, but okay. We are now 5 minutes over. I will be ending this video here. But that is the end of it. I'm gonna comment this out because I don't like it. Yeah. That's all. Have a fantastic day / evening. And most of you guys aren't going to have watched this video by the time we meet tomorrow, Wednesday, at 9:40. But if you have, kudos to you for being like a trooper. Why are you awake right now? You really shouldn't be. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.